Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today I am going back into the sealed tower of the Cetra to take on floor 57. This is an interesting one, to say the least. One of the most interesting things about this floor is that basically if you can clear the first wave, the rest of it is actually not so bad. So normally it's like the third wave is the one that you're really trying to gear up for. For this one, it's actually the first wave, and the reason that is that if you go here to the enemy info, the battle is going to start off fighting 3 of these fire Rangdas. They are weak to ice element, but the interesting thing about them is that at the start of the battle, each one of them is going to give them a high potency magic attack buff, all 3 of them, and then they're all going to start casting Flame Dance. So if all of these flame dances hit your party without reducing their magic attack or you defending yourself in some way from it, it will wipe you every single time. I'm sure a lot of you guys that have been fighting this battle have already been dealing with this. And there are definitely a few different ways to get through it. So I'm going to show you guys my strategy and then talk a little bit about how you can get through it overall. To first look at the battle info, the battle effects are: for allies, materia command ability restoration, minus 50%. So all healing spells, healing materia, cura, cures are going to have a minus 50% potency. Enemy HP is increased by 120%, and enemy magic attack plus 30%. So at the beginning of the battle, even after the high potency magic attack buff they're going to get, they're also boosted 30% magic attack, which is why they're doing so much damage at the beginning of the fight. So you are going to want to stack magic defense as much as you can on your characters. Alright, so going into the battle, you're going to fight 3 fire Rangdas. After that, you're going to fight a Cerulean Elemental and an Ice Bomb, which we'll get into that. But honestly, if you can get through the first round, the rest of it is not so bad at all. And the final wave is going to be fighting 2 Vaser Glows. They can inflict magic defense down with Double Claw, and they can also do a decent amount of damage with their Ice Elemental magic attack, Frigid Breath. It is noted that physical attacks are effective against this enemy, so keep that in mind when building your team. Alright, so let's get into my team for this. So I'm going to be running Sephiroth, Tifa, and Cloud. Cloud I'm bringing in because finally I have an opportunity to use the Bandage Sword. I have it only at base 5-star, but honestly it's going to be fine. This is a great weapon because even as a base 5-star, in a single cast you get magic defense increased to all allies mid, and with a second cast you're going to get high, which is amazing. So excited to finally be able to use this sword. So we're going to be using a combination of this to defend against the Fire Rangda, and then also using Tifa's Tiger Fangs here. This is also a fantastic weapon because even at level 70 base 5-star, this is going to also decrease magic attack for the enemies mid, and then with a second attack it's going to do high. So the basic strategy going into this fight is to have Tifa debuff the magic attack of 2 of the fire Rangdas, and then also have Cloud cast Sanctuary on your team once or twice. If you can get that off, you're going to survive the first attack, and the rest of it is all downhill from there. As for Sephiroth, a lot of the enemies in this battle are going to be weak to fire, but the first round the enemies are weak to ice, so obviously I'm bringing Sephiroth. If you don't have the edged wings, there are other weapons that you can use. For example, Cloud has Shiva's Blade right here. There's also the Enhanced Sword. There's also Aerith's. Aerith has a weapon that has Blizzaga damage. I believe also Barret has one as well. So if you don't have Sephiroth, you can bring someone else in. It is going to be easier to do damage if you have a weapon that does damage as opposed to materia. But either way, I think most people pulled for Sephiroth and his edged wings, and that's going to basically carry you through the first fight. Alright, so to go into the actual builds here, on Sephiroth I am running him his edged wings training garb for the Frostblade Arcanum. I am running him edged wings in the Aonibi in his first and second slots. For his summon, I have Judgment Bolt. You're not going to want to bring Shiva on this one because ice is really only effective in the first wave, and you're not going to get that summon up in the first round. So I bring Ramuh for damage later on. In Sephiroth's first slot, I'm going to be running Fire Breach. Second slot, Fyra. And third slot, Ruinra. Honestly, the Runeras, there's no sigils in this. You don't have to worry about sigils. So just put whatever you can, get the highest stats possible, and just do the best that you can. Going into Tifa here, I am running her the Lifeguard costume for the HP and the heal. In the first slot, I'm running her the Lifeguard wraps, as she is going to be my primary healer in the fight. And then, of course, the Tiger Fangs for the very, very important magic attack decrease. I believe that Red 13 also has a weapon that can debuff magic attack, and potentially Barret as well if you don't have the Tiger Fangs. But you do want something at the bare minimum. For Tifa's limit break, I'll be running Somersault for the final fight. This will reduce the physical defense and magical defense of a single enemy, which is going to help you take down the last Phaser Glows. In her first slot, I have Blizzara Blow here. Second slot, I have Fyra. Let's see here. I think that she is actually magic attack. So I think I will switch over this Blizzara Blow to just a base Blizzard. Let's find the one that is good. This is HP and heal, so I'll go with that. And then in the last slot on Tifa, we just have a Runera Blow. As you can see, it has a really high magic attack percentage there at 5.1%, which is pretty dang good. And then last but not least, here we have Cloud. I am running him Zidane's costume, which has boost HP and boost physical ability potency, which is really good. I have the Murasame, which I just got OB10, super stoked on that. And then last but not least, the Bandage Sword for the AoE effect magic defense increase. I am running Hellfire on him. And then in the first slot, we have Ice Breach. Second slot, Fire Blow. And last but not least, we have a 5-star Runera Blow right here for the extra physical attack. So all in all, this team is going to be pretty solid for taking this down. These are my stats. I do recommend getting your HP up as high as possible on your team, because even with Cloud's Bandage Sword and Tifa's magic attack down, you'll see that they're still going to bring us down into the red. So I would say 6k HP at a minimum, but shoot for 6.5, right? So here's my Sephiroth stats, close to 7k, magic attack 2.7k. I'm running the Arc Sword, Amaranth's Claws, and the Beach Parasol. For Tifa, she is sitting at around 6.2k HP, 1.8k magic, and 1700 heal. I'm running the Chocobo Staff, the Seaside Collar for HP, and the Umbrella Rod down here. And last but not least, we have Cloud sitting at almost 7k HP, 2.9k physical attack, and then we're running the 1000 Waves, the Torn Wing, and the Maritime Sword as his sub-equipments. Alright, well that being said, let's get into this fight, and I'll show you guys how we do it. It's going to kick off real fast right here, so be prepared. Alright, so right off the bat, you're going to want to switch to manual and slow. Stay on Tifa, and just as soon as you cast Upper Shot, switch to defense stance. This will cause Cloud to cast his Bandage Sword ability, as you can see right there. Then switch back over to attack, switch opponents, alright? And you're going to get off that uppercut, and there comes the attacks right there. We are going to barely survive, alright? I'm going to get off a heal right here. Ooh, we barely survived that. So at this point, just let everyone do their thing. Slowly bring everyone back up to full HP. Alright. So yeah, as you can see, that was a real close one right there. I think that I didn't quite switch over to the defense stance quick enough, which is why we took a little bit more damage. But all in all, that is it. That was the hardest part of the fight. Alright, so now I'm just going to bring everyone's HP back up to high, while letting Cloud and Sephiroth take down the last of the fire Rangdas here. Don't use your limit breaks yet. Just let everything go as it is. Alright, it looks like we have one more attack coming in. Alright, so I'm just going to keep on healing through that. Honestly, when it comes down to one of them, it's not even that big of a deal. It's really just the three of them casting that ability at once with the super high magic attack boost. That's the tricky part. Alright, so going out of wave 1, we're going to go into wave 2 right here. So I'm going to start with targeting the Ice Bomb, but do not bring it down to half health yet. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to uppercut it and debuff its magic attack. Alright, then I'm going to switch over, I'm going to hit everyone with a heal. Alright, then I'm going to switch the Cerulean Elemental, and I'm going to use Hellfire. And we're just going to use Hellfire. This is going to kill the bomb, and take down the Cerulean Elemental just a little bit. The Cerulean Elemental on its own is not really anything to worry about. It's honestly just a very tanky mob, but it's not really going to do too much damage for you. So once you take down the bomb with Hellfire, just slowly get yourself back up to full HP and prepare for the final round. In the meantime, your characters will slowly kill the Cerulean Elemental, and you'll find that it's not too hard of a fight at all. So I'm just going to use Fyra on Tifa right here, double Fyra. We'll bring down the Cerulean Elemental until it explodes, and it looks like I'll go for one last heal here. Alright. I'm not going to use any of my limit breaks, we're going to save that for the final round. Alright, and we are almost through it right here. Alright, so beating wave 2, we are now going into the third round against the 2 Vaser Glows, which is the final opponents. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to magic attack debuff them both. Alright, because these guys can do a bit of damage, just something to be prepared for. Alright, the moment I hit the second one, what we're going to do is Somersault and Judgment Bolt. So now we have them both magic attack debuffed. Alright, we're going to hit them with the Somersault and go straight into Judgment Bolt right here with Ramuh. It's not going to do too much damage, but it's definitely going to do more than Shiva against them because they are resistant against ice. Alright, and basically for the rest of the fight, you're just going to be targeting one. Keep up the magic attack down on them when you can, and keep up everyone's HP, and it shouldn't be too bad at all. Alright, as you can see, we have one of them down to almost half health right now. Alright, I'm just going to keep everyone topped off. So yeah, they do about single target attack damage for around 1500-1600, depending on your defenses. I'm going to switch over, heal Sephiroth. Alright, now we're going to re-up the magic attack down on them since it wore off. Alright, and then we're going to quickly use Hellfire right here. They both are weak to fire, so this should do a good amount of damage. Alright, and this should fully recover by the second wave by around this point in time. As you can see, we almost have one of them completely down. I'm just going to make sure that Sephiroth doesn't die here. Just keep in mind they can do a good amount of damage. I'm going to immediately somersault. You're just going to be somersaulting with Tifa as soon as you can every single time. It's going to debuff the physical and magic defense. Alright, then in the meantime, just keep up the heals as you were doing before. Alright, and it looks like this is almost over. I'm going to hit it with one more uppercut right here. Alright, so its magic attack is debuffed. And we're just going to go full DPS to the end right here. And there it is. There you have it. That was floor 57 of the Sealed Tower of the Cetra. It will take a little bit of finesse getting used to the very first wave, just getting the timing of it down. But like I said, go in with Tifa, have Tifa be your lead, focus on uppercut. The moment you do uppercut on one of them, switch to defense stance. That will trigger Cloud into using his bandaged sword for the AoE magic defense up. Then switch back to attack stance, switch the opponent to a second one, use uppercut again, and then immediately switch back to the defense stance, and that will prepare you for the first round. The moment you get through that, just heal through it, and you are basically good to go. Alright, well, I know that there are a bunch of different ways to do this. Another way to do this is to just blitz down one of the fire Rangdas at the beginning, but to be honest, I feel like that's a lot less free-to-play friendly, as you would need pretty strong OB-built weapons. But other than that, I think that this strategy is the easiest to use, can work across the board. If you don't have Cloud's bandaged sword, you can use, I think it's Mono Ward, the one that increases magic defense up. You might be able to use that on your team as well. I haven't done too much testing with it, but let me guys know in the comments below if you found a different way of beating this stage, or if you have any questions concerning it whatsoever. I thought that this one was pretty interesting, and I'm actually really enjoying making these videos for every stage of the Sealed Tower of the Cetra. I really like this feature of the game, and I hope that they add more features like this into the game. I heard that they are adding, or it's been data mined that has there has been found that there is something to do with guilds that might be incoming. I think that there's a good chance that PvP gets added to this game just because there is PvP in Near Reincarnation. Applebot, if you don't know, is also the developer that does Near Reincarnation, and it has a similar game style. And so I think that it would be really cool to have PvP implemented in the game. But I'm curious, what do you guys have to say? Would you like PvP implemented in the game? What about guilds? I feel like that would be really fun for me overall. But anyways, that being said, I hope this video helps you guys today. I hope that you can get your floor 57 clear. I want to thank everyone who likes, subscribes, and comments on these videos. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. That being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.